Albizia, water lily flowers, clematis in the background. The Rhea story. A few days ago, I was thinking about one actress, and I mentioned that strange episode. There's another one with yet another actress. Again, I don't have the name. So, encore, déjà vu. I'm probably inventing, and maybe if the grace of God, inshallah, some talent which I eventually obtain somehow descends upon me, maybe I make a move into real fiction, which is anyway, we know from so many writers, based on what happened to them, what they've seen around. One of the points of this exercise is based on the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, both classics, both the book and the writer, in which he says something like this as a conclusion: 10,000 hours of practice, exercise, be it athletic, writing, computing, over a period of 10 years, which means 3 hours a day, 3 hours a day of practice, exercise, work, will not always, but in most cases, um, bring you at the top of the world. There are some ingredients, some other ingredients that are necessary. I'm thinking now, if you are in a wheelchair and you want to be the next champion of racing, that's nonsense. Even if, even there, that shows the potential, the lack of limits. There's the Pistorius, or what's his name, the guy who shot his wife in South Africa, with artificial limbs, legs. He could run as fast as hell. I don't know. I think he and some others were so good that at one moment the issue was raised, maybe this is working better, than they have an advantage over regular legs, I don't know, regular people, ordinary. Passons. Um, so with this brief other chapter, it's something like this. We had an encounter somewhere. I don't remember exactly. There's just a few scenes that are stuck in my mind. I know we went to Snagov. That was a preferred place, a place which is spectacular, with a lake, the former palace of Ceausescu. That was accessible then. They closed it now, so much that they've taken over. The spread plague, the neo-communists and whatnot. Um, and the setting was aristocratic, was favorable, um, somewhat romantic, and favorable for an intimacy, getting together, and it worked. After Snagov, we came to my place. Well, yeah, I have to say this detail with that usual. Um, this is fiction, with the disclaimer. And anyway, I don't have a name. Let's call it Margaret. I know, and I must say that because this is important for the next evolution and her explanation of some strange behavior, attitudes. I went down on her. Uh, she did the same. We didn't have normal sex, only the oral virgins, and I took her home to a place, an apartment building on Titulescu. I know because this is where my grandmother used to live, and she was near there somehow. Coincidence. After some days, I call again. We meet. She is involved in the story mentioned in the previous episode. With they were discussing at the rehearsal of some play or some casting session, or and I mentioned there's one who says, there's the miss, and I know the guy who was crazy, ready to jump from the building for her, something. Yeah, well, I know. Turned out it was me, and so there were these two women, redhead, this one, and some other one, or the miss also present. I forgot what she told me, the context. Anyway, I will have to make up if I really make a story. I will hopefully, inshallah, be better at describing the context, not just I don't know, which I don't. Because maybe I'm also having in mind a retelling of these stories, maybe more systematic, shorter, because it's already approaching 200 episodes. It's 1,000 minutes. It's too long. So just the main points and with more accuracy. And maybe maybe some things will come back to me. That should be part of the reason why I'm doing this. Anyway, so we see again, and she drags me. I don't. This is what I remember. She drags me through the city, not in Ferentai, but I also know at Rossetti, near Rossetti Square. She was keen to see some guy, so she was crazy about this guy or something, and I was just a driver for that evening. And we drove, and well, let's get here and let's move on to the other one. I had the Audi, I think, then. And then from here there, and we get to Uniri at something like midnight, 1, 3 o'clock in the morning. It was past me because I said, okay, listen, I had enough, and I think you're already what's the name of this? It's exaggerating anyway, and you pass the red line, things like that. What the fuck am I doing here? I mean, who the hell do you think I am? I was a bit I was saying some things like that, but not really mad crazy, because I sort of knew what was going on, what is about to happen. I mean, payback from my side. Uh, and I was mean too, but I think it was getting even. It's not the story of a perfect guy. On the contrary, uh, and there it is. So what happened was something like this to this imaginary guy. Again, remember, it's not me. I said, you drag me through all the town to find your lover or his mistress or I don't know what. Enough. Now I stop. Oh, but and I'm thinking of myself. I was thinking we are lovers. We made love, or what is it? We fucked a couple of days ago. And this is when it's important, because we didn't really. I saw that as, but what happened? I mean, you did fellatio on me. Yeah, but that was just because, you did, and it's true. You went down on me first, and then I thought, well, it's being equal or something. Okay, well, if it's such a I'll drive you further. Uh, if it's the same thing, I mean, I drive you, you do this. If you say, I scratch my back, you scratch mine. If that's the way it works, you put it like it was. Uh, you have a chocolate, let me give you some of mine, in the first case. And indeed, that's what happened. I mean, she said something like, okay, I don't know if first she was puzzled or something. Uh, but she did it. It's true, I admit, it's part of the process of, I don't know, if closure of, this is the analyst virtual there, and I'm confessing my sins and my idiosyncrasies, my evils, my bad behavior and whatnot. I don't think it's, we explain our mistakes, we embellish them and we make them acts of heroism eventually. I see that one view is blackmail. I mean, if you do this, then I will drive you. That's one way to look at things. The other was, well, she said it was, we're not really lovers because I did this, went down, she did the same, Felicia. It's not a big thing. We're not lovers. And then I can ask for it, and I'm driving for 7 hours. I'm exhausted. I need to be awake at night to be alive. Yeah? And I don't want to do it for money. And if you say we're just friends with benefits, let's have the benefits, both of us, not just me doing the hard thing and with my heart broken, going to chase a woman's sex, love, interest, whatever, financial, and be the dumb in Dumb and Dumber. But it's it's one of those episodes. It's not a life full of uh, taking part in the revolution.